How does my audio sound since I'm using a different mic?
Sound decent.
Okay.
I can't tell too much of a
Maybe
difference.
not as much bassy as the other one.
I think that's true. Was that somebody's stomach?
That was my stomach, yeah. Sorry about that.
Well, it's a pretty good mic.
I know, right?
I barely heard it because I have my headphones on, like earmuffs, you know?
I don't see us live yet.
I don't know.
Oh, there we are.
It says it is.
Yeah, I got it now.
Probably turn the sound off on my phone.
Let me mute my phone.
Images look pretty good on the stream.
Yeah.
Kind of look better than they normally do. Maybe we shouldn't show our faces as often.
I was going to say, because it doesn't show my dumb face. Elon Musk needs to stop talking about cryptocurrency.
I know, he just tanked the damn thing.
He tanked everything.
Oh.
The entire crypto market, because he said, well, because Tesla's not taking Bitcoin for payment anymore because it's not environmentally friendly. So everything except this one coin that touts itself as being environmentally friendly, everything else like went in the toilet today.
Yeah, but everything else should be moving to proof of stake, which is going to help. So, all right, gentlemen, I'm ready when you are. I am recording.
Steak.
Yeah, steak. That does sound really good right now, except that I can't eat today or tomorrow. Damn it.
Colonoscopy?
No, I'm fasting again. I fast like twice a month.
But it goes by slowly.
Like an intermittent fasting kind of thing?
Yeah. It's helped a lot. So I got to keep it up. All right, I'm ready to go.
I think I'm ready to go too.
I gotta.
You ready to go to the bathroom? What do you
say? I can't move around too much, otherwise I'm gonna knock this microphone over.
Alrighty then. What's up, internet? Is your I hate it when that happens. Let's try it again. What's up, internet? It is time for your weekly dose of geek. This is the Making Geeks podcast, a podcast for makers, families, and geeks.
What's up, everybody?
Happy Thursday, gentlemen.
What's going on?
How you doing?
Happy Thursday.
Thursday
Almost
already.
through another week. Yeah.
Ugh. It's going by fast.
I look forward to Thursdays because I like recording, but it seems like everything always gets pinched towards the end of the week, so it's always feels busier at this time.
It really does.
So, anything new in the last 7 days that we should know about?
Well, you go first, Adam.
Really? Oh,
I thought you were laughing because
we're breaking tradition. No, I was just. It's funny because I've been going through some of our old episodes, and you every time it's like, "Hey, what's up?" You always do the or
Me?
or well, yeah.
Really?
It's like the signature Wes move for what I've been working on is to start with.
Oh, that's annoying.
It's basically filling space to kind of get the ball rolling, though.
So just keeping up with tradition.
Okay, I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for that, or ear out for that.
Yeah.
So I've bit more of the Droid Building Bug lately, which is probably going to be dangerous.
It always is.
I haven't even gotten halfway done on my other one that I'm building, and I already started another. As you can see here on the camera for the people at home, so this is half of the head. So this is going to attach here. Wait, hold on.
Half of a head.
like this. This is half of it. It's a full circle.
Is that Dio?
Nope. So let me get this situated. It's a little bit weird because of the perspective on the camera. But this
Yeah, it looks
goes
like that one
here,
piece is off.
and there's
Is it those mechanical droids?
it's the mechanical pit droids, yeah, with the little eye on the front. So it's got support material on it. So yeah, that's gonna go right there. This thing is huge too. It's gonna be like 3.5, 4 feet tall when it's done.
That's almost to scale.
It is 100% to scale. Yeah,
Holy crap.
yeah. So you can see the kind of the arc of it there. So I had to order some more white filament to finish this part right here. But yeah, it's bigger than my hand.
Wow.
Yeah. But
So are you gonna like spray paint it brass or gold or whatever color those pit droids are?
yeah, there's a lot of different people that do different like paint schemes. I'm not sure what I'm gonna settle on, to be honest. I'll probably be inclined to do like authentic paint scheme, but people have done other cool ones as well that are really interesting. I'm part of this Droid Builders Facebook group, and they're posting examples of stuff that they're doing all the time, and it's really inspiring and dangerous at the same time. This particular model is from Space Bob, I believe his name is. He's on Etsy, also called Droid Division is the name of the Facebook group, and he does all like humanoid, or not humanoid, what's the word? Anamorphic? No. Where they're like human-esque, they're like bipedal with arms.
Anthropomorphic, right?
Anthropomorphic, thank you. Anthropomorphic droids, like track or wheel-based droids. So he has full-scale battle droids, and the pit droids, and K2SO, and some of the other more obscure ones he has models for. And you can purchase the entire, either the head, which comes with a pedestal, online on his Etsy page, or you can do the full like posable model on his Etsy page. And so if you do the pit droid, which I'm doing here, it's around $35, which is kind of, I mean, they're really, really good. And he even like slices them up for you so that they print on smaller bed printers. So they're pretty high quality. The community that he's built up on the Facebook page is really good. They're all like super supportive and helpful, which is you're buying into that as well when you purchase the model. But yeah, they're super cool. The battle droid, which are the ones that say Roger Roger in the prequels, they're like 6.5 feet tall to full scale, and like people have posed them and put them in their like passenger seat of their car, and they take up the entire seat. It looks crazy, but I definitely want to build one to put in our like little movie room that we have at the house in the basement. I think that would be like super cool instead of the boring posters that everybody does. I think it would be sweet to have some Star Wars actual like droids and stuff. And the pit droid that I'm making here, I hope to have him like maybe hold the camera or something in the shop, or do other shop related things, since that's sort of his deal, right, is to work on stuff to be a mechanic. So I think that would be kind of fun to have him cameo in different videos and whatnot. So
He's awesome.
Yep.
Wow. So I guess that bug bit you pretty hard.
Yeah, it's drawing blood too. So you can see I have like a little band-aid on this finger, and it's I always like thought when I first got into 3D printing I would be burning myself a lot because it's like high temperatures. But more often than not, I haven't even burned myself ever. I've always like cut myself getting stuff off the dang bed. And it's often not even like the tool that I'm using to scrape the print off. Like today, I was printing this little cylindrical piece that I'm showing on the camera. It's like his eye housing. And I popped it off, and my hand moved against where I was like scraping, and it went like this. And just the support material, the raft, sliced my top of my knuckle, and it took a big chunk out of the top of my index finger on my right hand. It like instantly started bleeding everywhere. I was like, oh my gosh, this is not cool. So yeah, it's definitely bitten me.
I've had a lot of PLA injuries. I can relate.
Yeah, super sharp.
Poking my fingers constantly and it gets sharp. Yeah, it's not fun stuff sometimes.
It is not.
Now, are you printing that on your Prusa or your Taz?
So both. I'm trying to
Okay.
incorporate both. So the white one here that I'm showing on the screen is from my Prusa, which is pretty decent quality. It's actually come out pretty good for the most part. It's got a nice sheen to it. And then the blue one here that I'm showing is the Taz. I was hoping to integrate this other extruder that I have, which is specifically for printing larger thicknesses of larger widths for each pass, so you can do fewer passes, and it's called a more extruder. Like Bob featured using one for his Taz that he had. I think he was working on the boombox or something. What was it? Soundwave or something like that for a Transformers model. And it's great, but I didn't realize that you have to flash the firmware of the printer as you install it, because it makes it seem the way that it's designed. There's one set screw you pull off and the whole extruder comes off. It's like an assembly that's meant to be like hot swappable, and it has one cable you just like disconnect and reconnect. And I assumed that you were good to go, but apparently you have to reflash the firmware every time you swap. And my printer is not near a computer, and I could use my laptop, but it's a little bit more of a hassle. I thought it was more of like hot swapping, going from one to the other. As far
So
as
you have to reflash the firmware like out of this mode and then back into this mode, or just
every time
refresh for every print.
No, into one mode. And like whenever you use the more extruder, which is like the thicker bead of extrusion, you have to flash it. So it's not like every print, but every time I switch between one and the other, it might be okay if I use my Prusa for the higher detail stuff and leave the Taz for like the larger things. I think it still might be okay. But apparently it can print so fast it uses an entire roll of filament in 24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, if it was a 24-hour print. Yeah, which is bananas. So it might be worth trying. I mean, I've got it. I might as well experiment with it, right? But I don't know. I haven't fun with that. What have you guys been up to?
I've been up to a couple things. One, as you can see on the feed, my mini Muppet movie theater is done. Although now that I'm looking at this on the camera, I really should have taped it off better when I cut it out, because there's a lot of scorching going on. But it's done. It's put together. The only thing I have left to do is the little people that go on the inside. I'm really excited about this. It turned out really good. We got Statler and Waldorf. We got the Swedish Chef. It looks better than I thought it was going to be. So I'm excited about this.
Maybe you could include like a gag or a joke, because wasn't one of the establishments in the Muppet movie, was it El Sleazo? Is that right? The cafe that they met, was it Ralph? I don't remember exactly, but I think that's right. Anyways, you could sell El Scorcho or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. I should have the video out for it this weekend. And then I'm in process of rebranding. So I've been doing a lot of research and trying to figure out how I'm going to rebrand myself, which has been a lot harder this go around than it was the last go around. I don't know why.
Let's clarify again though, really quick. Are you talking about rebranding or just refreshing your logo? There's a difference.
Redoing my logo, not rebranding.
Okay.
Is like the name is going to stay the same. The logo is going to be completely different.
So it's really not rebranding then.
I don't know what you would call it then. Something.
Refreshing your logo. You're changing your logo.
Yeah, updating my look. So whatever moniker you want to use for what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing right now. And the first time I did it, ideas came to me pretty quickly, and I was able to figure out what kind of design I want, what style I wanted, what kind of logo I wanted, and then once that was finalized, it was done. This time around, there's a lot more that's going into it intentionally, and so it's taking a lot longer. And it's not frustrating yet, but it seems to be headed that way because there's so much that I wish I had the creative background in like design and that form of art to be able to be better at this. But since I'm not, I'm relying on inspiration from looking at other people's work, which for the most part hasn't been very inspiring. So I don't know whether
logo design's tough.
yeah, and I don't know whether to suck it up and drop money on service like 99 Design or Brand Bro or whatever those different type of websites are called, or if I just wait until the inspiration hits me to come up with the new design for the logo. But it's tough, like you said.
So I'm not really up to much this week in terms of anything that like we usually talk about. I'm still kind of in a mode trying to wait for the end of the year, and it's only about 2 weeks away. So hopefully I have a little bit more to report after that time for projects that I have on hold right now that I'm looking forward to doing. It's just really hard to focus on them right now with other deadlines that I have related to my usual 9 to 5 job. So maybe more to report next week. We'll see.
Can't wait.
So, for anybody in the live stream, it's pretty obvious that we have something different going on today. But for anybody that is listening via audio, you're going to hear some different sounds today that you're not used to, because we have decided to change things up a little bit. And we are okay. So am I supposed to follow suit here?
I don't know.
All of a sudden, everybody cleared their desks. So we decided to change things up, and we wanted to do something a little bit kind of physical during the show today, and not just kind of stand and be a couple of talking heads. We thought we want to keep busy with our hands while we're talking and going over a couple of things. So we all have a model. Okay, I think Wes is going to start doing a puppet show here. If you're listening audio, you're really missing out now. You really want to check out our YouTube stream of this. That was almost disturbing. So each of us got a model that we're going to be doing on the air tonight, and we'll try to talk through it in as much as we can, and then just different things regarding growing up, building models, anything kind of related to that is kind of what we're going for tonight. So let's see.
I'm excited.
Who wants to enter? I am too. I like the idea of doing something and building something while we're recording, which is something we've been talking about for a while. And it's a format that we're testing out, and hopefully it works. And if it works well enough that people kind of like it, then we'll do it again, or we'll make some sort of adjustment to kind of raise that value. So who wants to kind of introduce theirs first? I suppose that's how we're going to do this.
Well, I had originally planned on doing a Estes model rocket tonight, but as I was assembling all the stuff together, like as far as like supplies, I realized it required more than one type of glue, and I didn't have all the types that I needed to have. I didn't read the box beforehand, which is always bit me in the past when I was younger. I would always sit down, I'm finally ready to do this model kit. Oh, I don't have the right kind of glue. It requires this or that. And so I happened to look in the cabinet, and I found another simpler model, because the other one would probably require several hours past the podcast time to actually complete it. So in this instance, I'm going to go with something a little different. So this is a ornithopter. I always have trouble pronouncing that. So this is a rubber band powered ornithopter, which is like a flapping winged model kit kind of thing. So it's like rubber band powered. It's got a crank on the front that you turn, and it flaps the wings, and you can actually throw it around and it'll fly in circles or do flips or what have you. And I always loved this. Reminded me of my childhood for different things, because I always loved like flight and aviation toys, like either the balsa wood gliders with the little metal clip on the front for like the weight that you would put together and toss, or the giant styrofoam airplanes that you would get at like Kmart or something, and throw it one time and the wing snaps in half into a tree and ends your fun within like 5 seconds. But I always loved flight-based toys, and so I found this for a couple bucks. I think it was like on Banggood.com or one of those Alibaba type websites, and it was just like $5, and it was like a little rubber band powered flapping bird kit thing. So that's what I'm going to put together. Not as exciting as the space shuttle rocket that I was hoping to put together here, but I'll still talk about those a little bit as we go along, because I can't not think about model rockets when I think about building models in general. So that was a huge part of my childhood. So
Can you hold that closer to the camera? Is that Chinese on it?
Yeah, can you tell me what it says? Let's see.
On the top. Iron God 2.
Is that what it says?
Iron Bird 2.
Iron Bird?
Yeah, Iron God 2. Shun is like God.
Come on, camera.
Or
Come on,
God.
camera. No, my camera refuses to focus on that. There we go.
You're a little too pixelated for me to make it out, but it is
Dude,
Chinese.
That's funny.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I am doing the Ecto 1, and unlike a typical model kit, I am doing a laser cut model kit,
That's
which
pretty cool.
seems weird to do. It's like I look at it's funny. I see little tiny model kits like these, whether they're laser cut out of balsa wood or out of plywood or whatnot, in the store, like the little ones you can put together in like 2 or 3 minutes. And it's funny because I look at stuff like that, I'm like, oh, I can make that. Oh, I can make that. It's like walking through
Yeah.
IKEA. When you look at everything, you're like, oh, I can make that. Yeah.
But
I
will,
could totally
but will
do
you
that.
make it? That's the question.
Oh, will you? No. Which is why I'm doing the Ecto one this way.
It's like people that live at the beach, right? They never actually go to the beach. They live there. They're like, I can go anytime. I can go anytime. I can go anytime. I'm not going to go right now. I'm not going to go tomorrow. But I could go. I just choose not to.
Yeah.
Unlike these dumb tourists, right? It's funny.
So I am doing a model airplane based on, I guess, one of the newer planes that Maverick flies in Top Gun 2. So that is what I'm doing. So probably the more traditional of the three for like a typical model. So I'll give this a shot. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to complete during the show tonight, but I should be able to at least get a good start. And it says for ages 8 and up, so I'm hoping that I can handle that. I think I'm well within that range.
So is that a snap together kind of thing,
No,
or
no.
we pulling out the model glue and?
No, I stopped by a hobby shop and got some. Well, I actually stopped by Hobby Lobby, even though I hate that place, and got some model glue.
Is
And
it
I got.
still like super stinky?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I haven't opened it yet, but I'm sure I'll be. I'm sure I'll be very, very happy after this. Now I got 2 different kinds. I got a blue and a red, and I have no idea what the difference is between them, except that the red one has the peligroso sign of it for danger. So
Nice. That's probably the good stuff.
It probably is a good stuff, but I'm a little bit leery of using this inside
Yeah.
right now. Otherwise, I might be calling in sick to work tomorrow, or I don't know.
You
We'll
could
figure it out.
you could put a mask on, and we could just do the podcast through a mask today.
Oh, I already wore a mask for like 8 hours today. I don't know. I'll live dangerously. I think I'll try the blue one though, just in case.
Yeah, I'm looking it up here, and it says the blue stuff is child safe and doesn't work as well. It's great for kids. It says that the red stuff is better, but it is stinky.
Oh, the red stuff's what I remember.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that just brought back memories.
Right.
Woo. Man, I'm gonna have a good time up here tonight.
They're
Hope
saying
my kids don't hear it.
there's a hobby
Hope
forum.
my kids don't
yeah.
hear it. Yeah. Hope my kids don't hear like a thump.
Right.
Since I'm here on the second floor right now. Like,
Well, you got-
what happened to Daddy?
You've got 2 people watching you as you go, so we'll keep you safe.
Yep.
Start talking funny. And everyone here says the blue tube stuff is worthless.
Okay. Got it.
You do have some other glue coming to you probably tomorrow, I think. I ordered some. It's like a $10 thing of glue, so if you happen to need
Okay.
some more, There you go. It didn't come as quickly as the rest of it.
I'm just gonna glue all the things then.
That's right.
So shall we break these open and kind of get started? I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Because that way we're
diamonds.
kind of making
You
making
got a book with
noise
his.
all at once.
Yeah, I got a book with mine.
Man, I want a book with mine.
Talking about the history of the car,
What?
the history of the car in the movie, all kinds of stuff.
Dang. Let's do it.
I mean, I always figured it was like a hearse.
Isn't it?
It was a converted hearse.
Yeah, it was. Well,
It
wait, no,
doesn't-
was it? No, it wasn't a hearse. I thought it was an I thought it actually was an ambulance, wasn't it?
It was the Futura, a model that was easily identified by rear passenger area designed for the comfort and transportation of passengers. Windows wrap around the entirety of the automobile, providing light and air to the passengers.
I guess if they were
Interesting.
dead, they wouldn't need air. So
I'm pretty sure it was like an old style ambulance. I could be wrong, but
Oh, okay. So there was three different versions of this car. One was a passenger car. One was a privacy car. So same model, but the windows weren't wrapped around to give the people in the back privacy. So I
what
guess
did they need
kind
privacy
of like
for?
a limo. And then the other model was specifically used for ambulances
Got it.
that had a higher ceiling or roof area than the other two models. Interesting.
pop yours open, Sean.
We can do it right now.
Get the pocket knife ready. Let's see this thing.
Yeah, I know.
I'm actually a little bit jealous because I do need to get some older, more traditional hobby kits because I love doing those types of models growing up. I had one. My most famous or most prevalent memory is doing an A10 Warthog growing up, and that one I love that thing.
I think we talked about those last time on the air.
Yeah.
I remember playing like a video game. Something I want to point out too is it might appear backwards, but this is officially licensed by Boeing.
Okay,
Oh.
that's cool.
Yeah, I kind of wish that tag was removable because it's a cool looking tag.
Yeah.
While I destroy the position of my camera.
I might have
Oh
some-
wow, this
What you got in
this
there?
company makes a lot of cool stuff.
Is that
A lot of the
R2D2?
Star Wars, yeah, R2D2, Millennium Falcon, all the Star Wars,
Huh.
Harry Potter, Snitch, the Hat, the Time Turner, Niffler. I'm gonna, dang it. I'm always afraid of doing stuff like this because I'm like, oh great, if I'm doing one, then I'm gonna want to do two, and then three, and then see, there's the Firefly Serenity.
What?
There's Raphael from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Pacific Rim, Ant-Man.
That's awesome.
There's a bunch of these.
I like random licenses.
That Firefly
Yeah.
one looks pretty cool.
Yeah. So they license with Star Wars, Harry Potter, Disney, Pixar, Marvel, DC, 2K, Blizzard, Star Trek,
Wow.
DreamWorks,
They got like all of them.
I wonder what model was from 2K.
Dang, Sean, that's cool. I'm starting to have flashbacks from my Navy days, man.
Yeah, so this is the FA, whatever that means, 18 Hornet
Fighter attack.
fighter attack.
Yep.
1/72nd scale. I did a couple of these types of models growing up. I was never very good with them at all. I think that at that time, especially at that time, probably needed like a little bit of coaching of how to appropriately do it. And I was basically, here's a model, here's some glue, go figure it out. And they never came out very good. So I'm hoping that must have been some toys for my kids that have come that way.
Are you
There's
talking
a-
about the layout of having the pieces molded into the frame?
Yeah. This basically.
Yeah, the
Okay.
waste plastic that's between the pieces is called a sprue.
I know
It's a-
exactly the last time I built something with sprues.
When was that?
It was 3 weeks ago when my kids and I went and
Oh.
got one of those Harry Potter books. They have new Lego sets that are based on each of the houses in the Potterverse, and we got Ravenclaw, go Ravenclaw, and all the wands come in sprues because they're so so little. Wow, this is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be.
So have you seen the 3D printer models? Not really 3D printer models, but the models to be printed on a 3D printer that are basically this. You could assemble.
I saw one from
They-
a guy. I think his name's Age Wiz or something like that. On it was like a business card. Is that what you're thinking of?
No, I've seen people have actually designed whole things to be printed on 3D printers that are basically this to assemble
Right.
models. You could basically print your own model.
It's such a waste of filament, though.
Maybe and maybe not. I mean, if you think about what you have to, well, I think it depends on how well it adheres to the build plate and not needing a raft. I mean, there's definitely a novelty about it, but being able to print something like this and then maybe sell it if it's your own original that you can sell. I don't know. I like the idea that you can do it, not necessarily that I want to do it.
Right.
To give people the possibility of making it themselves.
Yeah.
It's a cool idea.
And it's also done that way so that you basically have the entire vehicle printed in, like, I think I've seen it for a Jeep. So that we can have the entire vehicle printed in one basically layout,
Oh yeah.
one basic layout, and then assemble it. Instead of printing, okay, let's print a wheel, let's print this, and like assemble it after.
Sure. It's a nice chance
Yeah.
to like slow down and like kind of get into it, versus
Mhm.
instant
I think
gratification.
I've seen those business cards that you were talking about, Wes, that are printed like a model that
Have
you
you?
can take apart and
Yeah.
At Maker Faire, gosh, 2 years ago now, um, there was a couple business cards that people there had that I thought were insanely cool, and one of them was, I didn't get one, but one of them was one that was like that. There was like a little model that you could pop out and put together.
I want one of those now.
Would you make one of those for yourself? Do you feel like that fits your aesthetic?
Maybe. I don't know. I could see that as being like an alternative design. I think so. Maybe like
It,
make a controller or something, or I don't know.
I mean, it does make your business card very memorable.
It does.
That's one of the reasons why I chose to do the square business cards instead of the traditional, rectangle cards.
Yeah.
Is that they're unique, at least in their shape. Maybe not so much in the design and everything like that, but at least in their shape, they're unique enough to stand out. Oh man, I hope I don't break this. This is like thinner than 1/8 inch plywood. This is thin stuff.
Think how much like
When
profit they make.
as a kid, I didn't have these fancy cutters. These really would have come in handy as a kid instead of having to twist the damn things off.
Right.
Maybe that's why yours
I would
came out
always
so
go-
crappy.
I would always get so frustrated. It's like,
That's
why can't
one
you
of the
make
few
it look like
reasons.
in the picture?
Oh, it doesn't look like the picture. Yeah.
Mine would just have like tons of because when you use the glue and you kind of like you dab it and then pull away, like this long stream
Right.
comes off. My model would always be covered in that, and I didn't know how to clean it off.
And
Mountain matter, hunting.
something I wish I would have realized when I was younger is the miracle of a hot glue gun. How many versatile applications as a maker a hot glue gun holds. So I could see it being very useful for stuff like this. If just for the instant bonding application of what you're building.
Super glue and accelerator.
Eh. I've never used the glue in the accelerator for any of my projects.
Oh, I have. I love it.
Really?
Yeah.
One thing I don't like about wood glue is just the drying time and the fact that it has to be clamped, otherwise it doesn't dry properly. And a lot of the times, if it doesn't dry properly or if you're not clamped the whole time, it breaks. And oh my gosh, it's so annoying.
Well, that's why you have, you could do the what was it? What was it saying? You could do the super glue trick with the accelerator, and mix that with the wood glue, and you'll get a more of an instant bond. You can use hot glue in between while the wood glue cures, or you can use brad nails.
Or you can use baking soda, which is a little messier, but
But wait, baking soda is what?
you can kick off the curing of super glue instantly with baking soda. You can also use it to help fill in like cracks and stuff. So like if you're actually I have an example here. So I happen to have this Beskar steel or whatever ingot
Oh, that's right.
that I 3D printed, and as I'm showing here on the camera, this was on the resin printer and it's hollow, so I could put, as you can hear, maybe there's like ball bearings in it, or there's like lead shot, I think, yeah, lead shot from the fishing store from Bass Pro Fishing Shop, and there was a hole that was cut in the model so that you let the resin on the inside of the model drain out. It's sort of what you do with the resin prints. But I use that to my advantage because I filled it with the little lead shot to give it weight, because it's surprisingly heavy for the size that it is. And then I filled in the hole by using super glue, and I would like put in some super glue, and like I would like sprinkle on like a pinch of baking soda over it, and it instantly sets wherever the baking soda touches the super glue. It like instantly sets. So then you put on some more super glue and more baking soda, and you can use that to like fill in like cracks or fillets, like when you bring two parts of the model together. So if you don't have like the thicker super glue, because they sell different like viscosities of it, you can use baking soda to help fill in, and it sands like really nicely too. It gets like super smooth. Yeah, I don't even remember where the hole was. I think it was on the bottom or something. Like as you can see here, I've got the Rocket Raccoon model that I've been printing, which is coming out pretty cool, and he's got little holes that are in his model. So there's a hole here on the bottom that I had to model in to let the resin drain out, and you always have to put in two so that it like equalizes the pressure, or else it like kind of just dribbles out. You have to have a way for the air to get in. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. I'm currently printing some more parts of this guy over my resin printer. I'm trying to use all my machines at one time, which is very satisfying when you have all the printers going. You feel very industrious, like Tony Stark or something.
Some of these parts are super small. I don't know if you can even see that. It's like the
joystick.
What do you call it? The flight stick.
Flight stick, yeah.
That's it. A little dot. I don't even know how I'm gonna place.
You get some tweezers?
I don't even know how I'm gonna place that in. I do somewhere, but I may not within arm's reach. I have this I'll use. See if that'll do.
That'll do, Sean. That'll do.
I was just about to say something like that.
I was trying to avoid it.
I didn't want to call you a pig on air, but I mean, if it makes a joke.
Not today. On Saturday, yes, after I'm done fasting. For today and tomorrow, no.
What meal are you gonna have to break the fast?
I usually start with just like some basic eggs in the morning.
Oh, so break fast.
Yes, literally. if I have anything that is too
Heavy.
not even just heavy. I mean, because like if I had pancakes or something, which
Yeah.
we do sometimes on the weekend, it'd be fine. But let's say if I have like a breakfast burrito, which I love,
Yeah.
I'm in for a world of hurt.
Indigestion or
Um, a little bit more disgusting than that.
oh, okay.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
I don't know any other way to put it without just coming out and saying that it's
You have
not
to.
pretty.
Yeah. You have to have some reading material.
No, it usually goes pretty fast. It's just that nobody wants to use the bathroom for about an hour after. How about that?
That's fair.
I feel like I'm doing surgery here. Feels kind of weird putting this stick between this guy's legs.
Let me see. Oh
Is there a
wow.
hole for it at least?
And it won't focus, so it looks even worse.
That looks really bad.
He's very excited to be in this plane.
That's not. Wait. That's not the kit I ordered for you.
What do you mean? Oh, I was a little bit slow on that. Sorry.
I mean, it did ship from California. Who knows what kind of weird stuff you got instead?
Yeah, I wish I could deny that, but I live here, so I'm well aware of how weird things get. I think I was in a lot of weird places in my early 20s too. Might be stories for another podcast because it's not quite family friendly.
You've always lived in California though, right?
Physically, yes.
Emotionally, no.
Emotionally, whatever. Emotions are overrated, but mentally, I don't know. I always felt like I was supposed to grow up somewhere else and not in California. But still kind of hard to justify because I haven't traveled a whole lot. I mean, I know that both of you have traveled a lot more than I have. But California's always felt a little odd to me. I've never really quite fit in. At least that's why I feel sometimes.
The etchings on this plywood are so shallow it makes me wonder whether they were on a super low power setting or just went really fast.
Probably a little bit of both. If those are production, they're gonna want to go fast.
I mean, they're deep enough that you could tell what they. Oh, it's out of focus, so you can't see it. But like the little Ghostbusters logo and stuff like that. But
But I mean,
man, they are.
you said that's what, probably 16th inch wood, because it's less than an eighth. You said, right?
Yeah, it is. It is thin. It's probably
So
16 inch.
16th inch would be less, and they probably want to be careful not to when they're etching it, not to cut through.
Yeah, scorch it or anything
Considering
like
that's a wood kit, that thing's probably worth like 4 times as much as it was when they made it.
that. I know. I could trade it in for that PS4 I've been looking for. I'm trying to play God of War.
There you go.
I mean, because looking at the way that was made, they would have had to do two passes anyways, right? One for etching, one for cutting.
Yeah. There's no scorch marks or anything, which is always surprising on the top or the bottom, which makes me wonder how did they put like a buffer layer beneath it so it doesn't scorch the
Maybe.
bottom of this, or
What if they have them stacked on top of each other? They just like blast through like 4 of them at one time, or something.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how it's done.
They're not. You can't water jet that. That wouldn't make sense to do that anyways, right?
No, because it would work.
Why
with
would
wood,
yeah.
right?
Water jet 16th inch wood.
Do it?
Oh, no wonder. I'm looking at the wrong sheet. I'm like, I cannot for the life of me find the next piece. I was looking on the wrong sheet.
This is like really therapeutic right now.
Right? I need to do this
It
more
is.
often. This is nice.
Yeah.
It forces you to slow down. Even more so than like Lego, because you can like snap through some Lego like nobody's business, but this is like just foreign enough where you really have to pay attention.
Yeah, like order of operations too. At least for mine, because with glue, not going to really be able to go back and fix anything.
Depends on which glue are you using. Are you using the red or the blue?
That's true.
I'm using the red. I'm having a great time here.
Okay. Then yeah, your margin of error is a lot thinner.
So did I know Wes, you talked about doing model rockets growing up. Donovan, did you do many of these models growing up?
Yeah. I mean, I one of the most distinct ones for me, obviously, since I was so involved in Boy Scouts growing up, was doing the Pinewood Derby every year. That we that was one of the things I was like most excited about was those. Even though I was terrible at it most every year, except for one year when I won, and my car went to like the state championships and stuff like that. I didn't get to go, but my car did.
What?
And it's yeah.
What a joke.
There's a state championship?
Yeah, you have your the Pinewood Derby, and whoever wins the Pinewood Derby can go to like a regional derby and then a state derby and then semifinals and nationals and all that kind of stuff, depending on how into it you want to get. And one year I made a car that's actually in my garage right now. I still have it. I made a car that won that year and got to go to like the regional derby meet. But I didn't get to go with it and see how it did. I just got a little piece of paper with the results saying, "Hey, this is how your car did."
That sounds like a racket. Why wouldn't you be able to go?
We were super poor, and so like going
fair.
places wasn't much of an option if it wasn't close.
Gotcha.
But that was always something fun that I look forward to doing every year.
I did the Pinewood Derby only once. It was fun, but only had that one experience for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I also I tried getting into the Estes rockets when I was in high school, and had a fun time. I had a fun time like building them and putting together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the engines,
Mm-hmm.
the engines are the expensive part. So you always get one of the
Yep.
you always get one of the engines with a kit. And so you spend the time putting everything together. You're like, "Oh, this is so cool." And then you go and you find a field and you set up your thing and you like run the line because you want to make sure you're far enough away because you don't want to like blow your face off or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then you hit the button and it goes, and you watch it like, "Wow, it's so awesome!" And then chase it when it comes down and go and find the parachute. You're like, "Let's do it again." And then you're like, "I don't have another engine." So you go to the store and you're like, "Oh, those are a lot. Those are expensive."
Yeah, it was like $5 for a pack of 3 back in the day, I think. And that was really expensive. Now it's even more. It's like $10 for a pack of 3 almost.
Yeah.
I think I saw it for about 5 or 6 at where I was today.
Oh, nice. Maybe.
Although I don't know if they're the right ones. They had a couple different ones there. I know nothing about them, so I wouldn't be able to.
Well,
judge.
they're in grades, aren't they? Like A, B,
Yeah.
C.
Based on power.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which also you have to take into account how big the rocket is and what size of area you have to launch it. So if you have like a tiny rocket and you put like a B or a C engine in that thing, you try to launch that in like a baseball field, that thing is gone. I've gotten more rockets stuck in trees than I have successfully recovered them, which is always sad. You spend so long like meticulously gluing it together, then painting it and like balancing it and all this stuff, and get it stuck in a dang tree on the first launch. Like that's when you learn about heartache and hardship as a kid.
Yeah.
And
You have your own personal Charlie Brown moment.
Oh, dude, it was the worst.
You lose it in the tree.
Then I tried to make a rocket from scratch, like rolling the tube and like some tape and making the actual nose cone. I had a parachute, so I didn't try to make that. But I did like all the fins. Everything was like created like duct tape and stuff, and it balanced fine because there was a way you could in the manual, or it was in the catalog. it would have a way to, it would show you how to balance a rocket. So you would tie it, like kind of balance it on your finger, like to find the center of gravity or center of mass, and then you would like tie a string in that approximate area, and you could sling the rocket around your head like in a circle, with the rocket at the end of the string. And if you have it weighted properly, it should fly like straight.
Oh yeah.
Do you ever remember doing that or seeing people do that?
Yeah. I totally forgot about that part.
Yeah, and it worked perfectly fine when I did that, the homemade one, and I go to launch it, and it was like a scene out of October Sky, which if you guys have never seen that movie,
No, that's a great film.
it's so good. It's one of my top like favorite movies that are like super underrated. And dude, that thing like went all over the place, and I like hit the deck, and it flew up in the air, and then it like came back down as before it even like ejected like the parachute
Payload.
charge. Yeah, it was coming down while it was still accelerating. It like it hit into the dirt, and you can see the fire come out of the back of it, like as it's on the in the field. And I was like afraid to go up to it. And then the parachute like blew off, or the nose cone blew off while it was stuck in the dirt. So it just goes poof, and like falls like on itself. It was terrifying. It was terrifying. But I had a lot of really good memories building rockets. I had a lot of cool ones, and even the catalog that I alluded to earlier, like just getting one of those in the mail and like looking through it and like dog tagging or dog earring, is that the right word? Yeah, the pages, so you would know like which ones I want the most. And I would never get any of them because what kid could afford a lot of that stuff back in the day? But it was a lot of fun. I had one that I remember very vividly that had it didn't have a parachute or a streamer inside. It had three blades that attached to this collar that was like right below the nose cap of the rocket, and the blades were like helicopter blades, and so they were
Oh, and
yeah, it would like auto rotate on the way down, but you could like fold them down and they would like lock in place with the nose cap, and so that as it launched, it would launch like a normal rocket, and then the nose cone would like not blow off completely, but kind of dislodge the blades, and it would pop out because they had like little rubber bands in them, and it would just like kind of fall back to earth, spinning under its own weight. It was super cool. Loved it.
Now, is that something you got into on your own, or did you have an influence for that?
I would say similar to Donovan, definitely Boy Scouts was the initial exposure to that. And I grew up in Richmond, Virginia, until I was 12 years old. So the places that you had available to launch them, like that being the capital city, it's a little more urban. Like they had some areas that were, your parks and baseball fields that you could launch them. But to get something really going high, you had to travel out into like farmland and stuff, which was not really convenient. So I happened to move to Southern Virginia when I was 12, and they had a lot of like farmland and stuff. So I actually got into it a little bit more out there. It was independent of the scout troop because I had already been exposed to that hobby before. But then I had the actual land to launch the stuff that I really wanted to, get some height. So that's where I kind of at first was exposed. But it's definitely not so steep of a learning curve that you couldn't just buy the kit and do it like yourself without any prior knowledge. Like they're pretty. The Estes kit, you can get like one of the kits. I think they're mostly already assembled for like some of their basic rockets that come with the launch kit and everything, and the launch pad and the launcher. But it's super fun. I'd highly recommend it if anybody listening has never tried it, and you have little kids that are under the age of 15 or even older. I mean, heck, even adults love it too. If you launch them at a park, you draw a crowd if you have a handful of rocket engines for sure. But it's a lot of fun. They have back in the day they had some that were similar to this, but they had one that had like a little digital had an analog camera, and it had a film camera in the nose of it, and so it would launch up, and whenever there's like a charge inside the engine that usually pops the parachute out. Well, this one would also, in addition to the parachute, it would trigger the camera to take several photographs as it was like at the apex of its launch. And so you would get shots of the ground from like 1,000, 1,500 feet, which was like super awesome. You know, you get it back and you go develop it, go through all that. And I had never actually gotten one, but I always wanted one as a kid. And I happened to go to a hobby shop just last weekend here in just outside of Raleigh. And apparently they have a modernized version of it now where it has like a little tiny camera that
Wi-Fi?
I guess almost, yeah. They have like it's like a USB stick that has a little camera at the end of it, and you jam that in the nose cone in a certain spot, and it will record video during the launch and recovery, and you just plug it into a computer and get the video files off, which is pretty awesome.
It's
It was,
cool.
it was only like $50. I'm like, oh, I might want to get one of these.
And you could use it over like
Yeah.
more than once, right?
Yeah, definitely. As
Yeah,
long as it
okay.
doesn't get stuck in a tree, then you're
Yeah, well, yeah.
you're really hurting then.
And I'd like when I was little, like outside of Scouts, I would build a lot of Shaun with a lot of those type of model kits, airplanes and things like that. Cause like I really wanted to be a pilot when I was little, and so building planes was a way to have that connection to something you wanted to do or to be when you were older. But I remember like one of my favorite model kits doing was there was a game back when I was a little kid called what was it called? Mech Warrior 2000 or something.
I know Mech Warrior.
Okay. And my favorite Mech Warrior was the Timberwolf. And one year I got the Timberwolf as a model kit, and I thought that was so cool to be able to put the Timberwolf together as a model kit.
That's
And I would
awesome.
just sit there and be like Timberwolf, just like in the game. Because every different mech that you chose, there's the voice of the guy saying what model it was. And the one that was most memorable was Timberwolf.
Oh yeah, because not many games talked back then, so that was like unique kind of novelty, right?
Probably an
Hammer.
overly digitized voice.
Or Sega.
Right. Oh my God! Did you hear that? It said Sega. Yeah, I remember loving games that had voice clips in it. That was so rare back in the Super Nintendo kind of era.
Or when FMV games came out. Oh
Oh,
my gosh. Blew everyone's mind.
I never had the money for those.
Yeah, I think we need an age check now. FMV games. Not very many people even know what that is. If you're under 30, you have no idea what that is.
Yep. The only one I ever had was The Seventh Guest. Because I've always liked puzzles and puzzle games and stuff like that. And so Myst was one of those games that I saved up for and got it when it came out, because I had PC Gamer that I would read at our local B&B. I would just go and read the PC Gamer magazine before they started like putting them in plastic, because they would come with CDs and stuff like that. And Myst was one of those ones that are like, oh, I really want to get this. And Myst had the FMV, the little videos that played in between the game. You're just like, whoa. It's so cool.
Oh yeah, I forgot about magazines that had CDs with them. That's right.
Yeah, PC Gamer. And Little Monkey.
And that's when they started charging, like, what was it, $8 or $9 for a magazine because I had the CD in it.
Yeah, you're like,
Well, before that, they had ones that had the floppy disks, right?
I don't remember the floppy disk being bundled with the magazine, but I would imagine that did happen too. I just don't have a good memory of that specifically.
Wasn't there one called like PC Mag
Yeah, there was
that had like demo software on it and stuff?
Maximum
PC
PC.
Gamer, PC Mag,
Maximum PC was
Game
mine.
Pro.
Yeah, Game Pro.
I like Game Pro and Game Informer.
EGM, Electronic Gaming
Oh
Monthly.
yeah, AGM. Mm-hmm.
Game Informer, that didn't come out for a long time, right? That's more of a later.
Game Informer is one of the
It's
later
a
ones,
GameStop
but
one. Yeah.
I had a subscription a couple times to Game Pro, and I used to love it because my parents wouldn't buy video games, and there was no way for me to save up to buy any. They didn't really believe in them. Any system that I ended up having eventually was a hand-me-down. So reading and becoming really knowledgeable about the industry was the next best thing I could do. So
Wow.
I would read those things from cover to cover over and over again.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. There would never be a day where I was on the school bus and didn't have a gaming magazine.
Yep, I'd always put them in my backpack.
Yep.
Read them, show them off.
I did that one time with Wizard magazine and got way in trouble.
Really?
Yes. Because Wizard's all about like comic books and stuff like that.
Oh, right.
And-
I remember
And
that
there was
magazine.
one that was featuring Gen 13. And I got in a lot of trouble for showing that one off. It's like, it's so cool. They're girls.
I had a
You know,
Nintendo
it
Power
could have been
as
worse.
well.
It could have been worse. You could have been reading heavy metal. If you're familiar with that magazine.
There was a movie called Heavy Metal, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think it was related to the magazine somehow. Now I just lost a piece.
Uh-oh.
I'll find it later. It
Uh-oh.
was a really, really small one.
They'll never notice.
Probably not. It was a small little clear piece that goes inside the cockpit. I'm not even sure what the function of it is.
Oh, is it like the HUD?
So I put that piece in. It's that little one right there.
Yeah.
And it was clear. I have no idea what that was supposed to be. It goes on top of the
Oh,
little
weird.
console there.
Huh.
So maybe it's the thing that does reflect the HUD onto the canopy, possibly. Oh well, hell to be flying blind. Fly by the stars. If that's even a thing, probably not.
Man. You really got to go slow with these because I think I've broken 2 pieces so far. Didn't mean to.
Really?
Yeah, but they broke.
It's a good thing there's such a thing as wood glue.
I know. Or baking soda or baking powder?
Baking soda.
Baking soda and super glue.
You could also just do a deal total boat and just pour the whole thing in epoxy.
Yeah.
It's like total boat everything.
We've been going for how long have we been going? An hour?
Have you really?
I don't even,
Wow.
I don't even think I'm halfway through.
Wow. Dang.
I almost have the fuselage together.
Time
I guess that's
flew.
something.
Out of 140 pieces, I've gotten through 30.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell that. I mean, I was looking at yours earlier. You can definitely tell what you're building already.
Oh yeah. The basic shape is there, even if it doesn't have a lot of the details.
And likewise for yours, Sean. Like I can tell that's at least a jet.
Yep. It's missing a couple key parts, but
It is. It's a lawn dart right now.
times have been tough and budget's been cut, so this is what we got.
It's actually what we used to call the Hornets was lawn darts.
So, speaking of lawn darts, do you think we're about ready to transition into some other stuff, or
I think so.
or do you
yeah.
want? So, I'll go ahead and kick off the geeking out about since you had mentioned the lawn dart thing. It's somewhat relevant.
All right.
Well, in a actually related to planes too. So, in my further dive into this rabbit hole of looking at flight simulators and everything other such, I came across a YouTube channel called Air Force Proud 95. That's the handle he goes by, but it's also the name of the channel. The guy is a licensed commercial pilot, but he has like a 1.3 million subscribers. So I think he's probably doing better with his YouTube channel for right now. But the guy almost exclusively streams from either Microsoft Flight Simulator 10 or Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. And the commentary that he provides is it's really, really entertaining. And he usually streams to like a multiplayer server and just seeing what people are doing on the server. And I guess within the game that I didn't know is you can also spawn in as an air traffic controller. So a lot of times, he's there as the air traffic controller trying to control all the traffic, of course, for the airports. And just the dialogue and the way he handles everybody is really, really entertaining. I think I've probably seen almost all those videos at this point. The humor is a little bit crass, so if that's not quite for you, it's understandable. But I've laughed out loud on several occasions, and the lawn dart thing is a reference he makes a lot of times where somebody is flying and all of a sudden ends up vertical like this in the ground, and of course calls it a lawn dart. And he has a whole series of things that he talks about in the videos. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit entertaining and you have like the idea of like a flight simulator, check him out, and you might find some entertainment in some of those. And watching has only ignited my interest more in doing the flight simulator thing, specifically the Microsoft Flight Simulator. But then yesterday I started looking at the cost of what it costs to be a pilot. So I don't know where this train stops right now, and I guess we'll find out.
You're
I know.
You're crossing over.
I know. So that's mine.
Well, Mother's Day. We just had Mother's Day, and ever since Workbench Con, when we willingly shut ourselves inside of a jail cell,
Yes,
to try and solve
It wasn't that willing.
to try and solve a bunch of puzzles and escape with our lives. I've been excited about finding local escape rooms, and I've been to a few of them that are here locally in Oklahoma. And I do have to say that having gone through that escape room in Atlanta with you guys at Workbench Con spoiled me, because that escape room was so cool and so well done that I'm like, oh man, every escape room is going to be like this. But then I come to find out, no, not every escape room is even close to that.
wow.
So on different date nights, we've gone to different escape rooms and tried them out. And for Mother's Day, I got together with my brother and we took my mom and my grandma to another escape room that's here in town called 11th Hour Enigma. And I was going into it not expecting a lot, because in Oklahoma I wouldn't figure that the escape room scene is very thriving here, and based on the other escape rooms that I had been in up to that point here in the state, I didn't think it was going to be much. But holy cow, it blew me out of the water how cool this escape room was. And as I was going in there, I started asking the lady about how things are set up and put together, and whether or not everything's run off a Raspberry Pi, because a lot of them are. And she's like, how do you know about stuff like this? I'm like,
Wow.
oh, well, I'm a maker and I make YouTube videos and I'm part of this community of people that do stuff like this for fun. And so after we saw the escape room, she came in and kind of gave me a chance to pick her brain for like 30 minutes and ask all kinds of questions about the different mechanisms in the room and everything that we had done and the different electronics and the programming and whatnot. And it was so cool. And ever since then, I'm like, I didn't realize how easy it would be to put an escape room together, seeing
Yeah.
the different kinds of escape rooms I've been to. But now that I've seen the variety that we have here, it really makes me want to do an escape room. And so, with Workbench Con coming up in February, they officially announced it, and so, we were going to be going to that again. If I'm going to apply to be a speaker, and if I do, I'm going to take my extra ticket and do an ARG again, like I did last year, to give the ticket away to one of my followers. And being inspired by the escape rooms, I want to put together something super, super cool for my next ARG that I do, that involves some things that I've seen in escape rooms and whatnot. And so I've been really geeking out about escape rooms.
Very cool. How about you, Wes?
A couple little things. I also saw the post on Workbench Con's Instagram. Finally, I heard people talking about it. I didn't know where they were getting their information from regarding their announcement of next year's Workbench Con. But yeah, that was cool to see that they finally confirmed the dates for that, which is exciting. So definitely looking forward to that. The Stranger Things season 4 trailer teaser came out, so I'm looking forward to that coming out. And that's pretty much it. Oh, also, Grant, my son Grant has been interested in older Nintendo games lately, so we've been exploring, and I've been introducing him to the original NES and the first 3 Nintendo Super Mario Brothers games. And so I told him, hey, if you're able to beat one of these games, I'll give you $100. You can choose whichever one you want.
Oh,
there is a geek dad right there giving a reward for beating a video game.
But I think those are a lot more difficult than like the modern Super Mario Brothers games.
Oh, they are. There's no doubt. It just
He's going to be in for a challenge.
I mean, your money's going to be safe for a while, but
That's right.
Yeah. You should take that $100 and put it like in some sort of savings or somewhere it gains interest, not Doge, but
Doge. Yeah. So he's been geeking out about that, and so I've been also geeking out about introducing him to the original hardware kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to showing him all the different versions of different games, because we went back to where I store all my classic games, and he's like, oh, do you have Zelda? I'm like, do I have Zelda? Let me show you. So I like point like, this is Zelda, this is Zelda, this is Zelda. He's like, what about Ninja Turtles? I'm like, Ninja Turtles? Yeah, buddy. It's like every time he brought up a new IP, more times than not, I had something. He's like, what about DuckTales? I'm like, oh yes. Which DuckTales do you want to play? I'm like, what? So it's been... If he beats that game, I'll give him more than $100. That game's pretty tough.
the original?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, that's the thing I actually wanted to geek out most about. It brought me back around to it. So I'm finally catching back up on DuckTales, the newer animated series on Disney Plus. The new one.
So good.
It's so good. And I already knew it was so good, but it's one of those things that I kind of just shelved. I watched the first season before Disney Plus came out online, and then finally I've been kind of watching one episode here and there for the second season, but I've trying to focus more on it since they had the third season come out. And there's an episode in season 2 that honestly almost made me tear up because of a reference that they put in there that I was like, oh, I hope they do this reference. I don't think they will, because I'm not going to say what it is. I don't think they'll put in this reference because that's very obscure, sort of, and to have them connect the things together in a certain way. And sure enough, they referenced the video game, the DuckTales video game, in a really cool way. And it's very, very... It was almost emotional for me because I love that game so much, and they had some really cool references to it, and they did it in a really neat, unexpected way that highly recommend. Season 2 of DuckTales.
Is it the one where Huey goes back in time and sees his mom and Uncle Scrooge when they were kids?
No, it's after that. It does feature their mom though. Uh, I think it's a spoiler. Maybe it's not a spoiler. I don't know. I don't want to really mention too much. It has to do with their mom and the moon and the DuckTales video game.
Oh my gosh.
If you've seen that episode,
Yes.
oh yeah, they
I was about to say, fine, keep your secrets.
I mean, I guess it's not too much of a spoiler. The show's been out for years, but they use the soundtrack from the moon level for the DuckTales NES game, which is arguably one of the best game soundtracks out there for that game entirely. But that specific level of the moon level, they use that as her theme song. So she's like humming it as she's like on the moon, trying to get back to her boy. She's been stuck there for like their entire lives before they were hatched. So they think she's dead, and she's like humming the theme song, and I'm like, oh, no way, she's doing the moon theme, which is amazing. And then they actually start playing it with her not humming it, and it turns out she wrote like lyrics to it, and she's like, it was like her the song that she would like sing to
Lullaby?
them. Yeah, their lullaby when they were like before they were hatched. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I don't know. It was a simple thing, pretty stupid, I guess, but
Oh, I don't think so at all.
I
The things that move us emotionally I think are pretty cool.
it was great. It was great. So now that
Now,
I've
I have to
spoiled
say
it,
that
check it out.
I have to say that when I first saw the new DuckTales series,
Yeah,
like when I saw the art for it, I wasn't very enthused
same.
just because I like the original series so much. But my kids have been watching the new series, and every now and then we'll put on an episode at in the evening. It's grown on me.
Yeah,
It has grown on me. It is pretty good.
the amount of respect that and the attention to detail that they put in that show, like especially if you watch other Disney afternoon shows, because there are references to other material in
yeah,
it, like all over the place, and
They reference all of it.
they do, and they just that alone should dispel any sense of disbelief or negative connotation, like when it comes to like watching the show. Like I'm telling people all the time, like if you love DuckTales, because I talked to a couple people on the Geek Dad group that I'm in, and they're like, oh, I don't like the art style or the theme song is annoying or da, da, da. I'm like, if you like DuckTales at all, you need to watch it. You need to force yourself to watch it. It's
I was one
amazing.
of those people, and I
Yeah.
have to say that it grew on me.
Yep.
Now, I know that I heard that they're doing a new Chippendale series. Do you think they're going to put all this into kind of like an expanded universe type thing with the Disney Afternoon?
It wouldn't surprise me because they did have Tailspin references and Gummy Bear references.
Well, Launchpad is in the show, so
Well-
it's already Tailspin, right?
Darkwing Duck.
Well, he's not in Tailspin, but yeah, he's in Darkwing.
No, but I mean,
Yeah,
they had references to Darkwing Duck too.
sure. Which that one already was an established reference in the original DuckTales show, but they definitely never referenced Tailspin or Gummy Bears as being in the same universe, and they have done that in the newer one. So, yeah,
Oh, did I get that wrong? I thought Launchpad was in Tailspin.
yeah,
No,
Lon-
that's Blue the Bear.
That's Blue the Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
but it wouldn't surprise me, which is fantastic. And the fact that they actually leaned on and used the theme song from the game is just amazing. Like that connection right there. You know what I mean? Like it's just like a fan service.
Got you in the feels.
Oh man, it was amazing. So good. Enough about DuckTales.
Well, speaking about getting in the fields, we have some. Actually, it's a horrible transition, but
Ugh,
there's
no.
some Patreon members to thank.
Speaking about feeling things, we'd like to thank our patrons over at patreon.com/makinggeeks for helping us keep the show on the air with their financial contributions and allowing us to build these silly models and talk about nostalgia in interesting ways on the show. Thank you guys so much for your support, and girls, we appreciate every one of you, including our top patrons, Square Splinter, Clinton from C3D Prop Shop, and Jordan Rimple. Thank you guys so much.
And aside from these silly projects that we do together, as a podcast. We work on silly projects individually. So if you want to check us out, you can find Sean at Geek Builders. You can find Wes's stuff over at Geeksmithing, and you can find me at Once Upon a Workbench.
And something else that we love is we love hearing from all of you. If you like to suggest a topic for the show or just give us any kind of feedback, you could do that on our website, makinggeeks.com. We have a contact page that you can list all those things right there. And on the homepage of the site, you can listen to all of our past episodes. And be sure to check out our merch page, or merch store, rather, with we have some shirts and other merchandise for you to take a look at. And I think maybe this next month we'll have some other new things up there for you to take a look at too. And want to thank everybody that joined us in the live chat. This video was a little bit different. We were, putting models together that is really hard to see when you're listening to a audio podcast. So you could go over to YouTube to our Making Geeks page, and you can take a look at the live stream of this episode, if you so choose. And you can find new episodes of the website. You can find new episodes of the podcast every Saturday morning on your favorite podcast player of choice. From all of us to all of you, have a great week.
See you guys.
See ya.